Imagine sipping your morning coffee on your own dock, the steam rising like a peaceful ritual, when suddenly 3 cop cars screech into your driveway, sirens blaring like it's a raid on a drug lord. There she stands, the HOA queen bee, finger jabbing at you like you're the criminal, screeching about illegal fishing on community property. Except you've owned this damn lake for over a decade, and it's her cronies who've been sneaking picnics and parties on your turf. Oh, the sweet irony. This self-proclaimed guardian of neighborhood standards is about to unravel in the most deliciously pathetic way, exposing her power-hungry farce for all to see. My name's Alex, a 45-year-old landscape architect who spent the last 15 years turning my grandfather's old 5-acre plot into a quiet haven. Back in 2010, when I inherited it, the place was wild, dense woods hugging a crystal-clear 2-acre pond fed by underground springs. The kind of spot where you'd hear nothing but the splash of base jumping and the rustle of leaves in the breeze. I'd start my days there, rod in hand, watching the sun paint the water gold, thinking I'd hit the jackpot on serenity. The deed was ironclad, dating back to 1985, with survey pins still buried deep in the earth like ancient guardians. Taxes paid on time, no disputes. It was mine, pure and simple. But in suburbia, peace is just a facade waiting for the right busybody to crack it. The trouble brewed slow at first, like a storm cloud inching over the horizon. Around 2013, developers carved up the surrounding farmland into Oak Ridge Meadows, a glossy subdivision of McMansions with manicured lawns and identical mailboxes. Suddenly, my wooded retreat was encircled by folks who'd paid $500,000 for exclusive community living, complete with promises of green spaces and amenities. They eyed my pond like it was the neighborhood pool, assuming it came bundled with their HOA dues. At first, it was harmless, a kid asking to skip stones, a couple wondering if they could paddle a kayak on weekends. Sure, I'd say, just holler first. Manners, right? But manners are the first casualty in these gated paradises. Whispers started in 2019. I'd catch snippets at the local diner. That pond's breeding mosquitoes, bad for property values. Beer bottles appeared on my shore, tangled fishing lines snagging the reeds. Then came the anonymous notes in my mailbox, typed in all caps, "Maintain your property or face consequences." I shrugged it off, figuring it was some retiree with too much free time. Little did I know the snake had slithered in. Enter Brenda Hargrove, the epitome of suburban despotism. She rolled into Oak Ridge from the East Coast in 2020, mid-50s, with a razor-sharp bob haircut that screamed, "I manage crises for fun." Driving a gleaming black Lexus that she parallel parked like it was a tank claiming territory. Retired HR exec, she called herself, but her real talent was weaponizing politeness. Her smiles were all teeth, no warmth, and she had this way of saying, "for the greater good," that made you feel like a criminal for breathing wrong. Within months, she'd clawed her way to HOA president, campaigning on elevating standards and protecting our investment. Translation: micromanaging every blade of grass until the neighborhood suffocated under her rulebook. The first real skirmish hit on a crisp Saturday in early 2024. I was ambling down to the pond with my thermos, the dew still sparkling on the path, when I heard the buzz of a power tool. There was Brenda, in khaki capris and a visor like she was on safari in the Hamptons, supervising 2 burly guys hammering "No trespassing" HOA property signs into my soil. Her perfume assaulted me from 10 feet away, some floral balm that probably cost more than my boots. "Morning, Alex," she chirped, clipboard in hand. "Just clarifying boundaries for community safety. You get it, right? We can't have ambiguities lowering our curb appeal." I stopped dead, coffee sloshing. "Boundaries? This is my land, Brenda. Those signs are on my side of the survey line. Take 'em down." Her smile twitched, like a glitch in her programming. "Oh dear, there's been some misunderstanding about shared resources. The board feels this water feature enhances the entire subdivision's value, so it falls under our oversight. Think of it as a team effort." "Team effort? I own this pond. Deeds don't lie." That's when the mask cracked just a hair. Her eyes narrowed, voice dipping to that condescending whisper executives use when firing interns. "Alex, standards matter here. Not everyone fits the vision." Let's not make this unpleasant. She waved at the workers to keep drilling, as if I were a pesky fly. I yanked the first sign out myself, the wood splintering satisfyingly. Brenda's jaw dropped, but she recovered with a huff. You'll regret challenging the community. War declared just like that. 2 weeks later, the retaliation landed like a sucker punch. I was casting my line at dawn, the water rippling peacefully, when tires crunched on gravel. Four figures emerged from the mist. Brenda leading the charge, flanked by her bored minions. A twitchy accountant named Todd in eternal khakis, and 2 others who looked like they'd rather be golfing. Mr. Rivera, Brenda announced, using my last name like a courtroom summons. We're here about your persistent violations. I reeled in slowly, eyebrow raised. Violations? On my own property. Todd thrust forward an envelope, his hands shaking slightly. Cease and desist. You're disrupting harmony with unauthorized recreational use of communal assets. The coffee turned sour in my gut. Communal? This pond's been in my family longer than your HOAs existed. Brenda smoothed her blouse, reciting like a robot. Any feature impacting neighborhood aesthetics is subject to review. Fines start at $150 a day. Liens possible. We're just enforcing order. Alex, for everyone's benefit. Bullies thrive on shock value, spouting nonsense with straight faces, betting you'll fold. But Grandpa taught me, when they push, you don't yell or you plot. I'll have my lawyer look this over, I said flatly. Her grin widened, predatory. Do what you must. But delays cost money. They marched off, leaving me staring at the water, mind racing. That weekend, I dove into county records, nursing black coffee in a fluorescent-lit office that smelled of old paper and desperation. What I unearthed was gold. The HOA formed in 2015, years after my inheritance. Legally, they had 0 pullover pre-existing owners, like trying to tax a bird for flying over your yard. I hired a sharp attorney, Sarah, who charged a pretty penny but promised results. Her first letter to the HOA was a masterpiece. Cease harassment or face countersuit. I posted scans of my deed on the neighborhood app, captioning, friendly reminder of actual boundaries. Likes poured in from silent sufferers. One neighbor DM'd, she's fined me for my bird feeder. You're a hero. Brenda's response? Delete, block, and counterpost. Beware agitators sowing discord. We prioritize family safety. Petty but predictable. Then she dialed up the authorities. A code inspector showed up midweek, clipboard in hand, looking baffled. Complaint says you're operating an unlicensed marina. But this is a pond. Who filed? I asked. Anonymous, but same number as the last 3 nuisance calls. He eyed the subdivision. Entitled folks, huh? No violations, but the intrusion stung. That night, my buddy next door, Carlos, a mechanic with a nose for gossip, called. Brenda's spinning yarns at meetings. Says you yelled threats. She's scared to jog by your place. I gripped the phone. I've barely spoken to her. She's got half the board spooked, but others are tired of her crap. You're not alone. This wasn't just about the pond anymore. It was a reign of terror. Time to armor up. The harassment escalated like a bad sitcom plot, each episode more absurd. Another inspector, this time with a laundry list, unpermitted dock, invasive plants, 25 items, all bogus. He sighed after checking. This complainant's got imagination. Your place is spotless. Then Wildlife Services, report of illegal fish farming. The officer chuckled at my solo rod. HOA beef? We get these weekly. Neighbors thinking they're experts. Brenda's social media blitz was chef's kiss ridiculous. She launched Oak Ridge Watch, posting, early disturbances from rogue elements threaten our values. My fishing became noise pollution. Invites dried up. Waves turned to averted eyes. Even the UPS guy muttered, heard your trouble. Deeper digging revealed the HOA's dirty secret. A 2020 amendment annexing my pond without consent. Illegal as hell. Sarah grinned. Fraudulent jurisdiction. We can nail him. Her second letter threatened suit for abuse of power. The board paused enforcement, But Brenda? She went nuclear on personal smears. One afternoon, fixing a fence, her Lexus purred up, cop car trailing. Officer. Threats reported. You confronted her last night. Brenda nodded from afar, playing victim. I was home, wiring lights. Check my cams. Footage cleared me. Officer to her. False reports a crime. Her tires squealed away. Cams sparked an idea. Perimeter walk revealed a hidden path to my pond trampled, with a DIY lounge. Chairs, fire pit, even a chained cooler reeking of old parties. I rigged trail cams, $500 worth. Jackpot, 52 trespasses in weeks. Picnics, teen raigers, fishing derbies. And Brenda? Caught 8 times. Lounging like queen of the stolen realm. Carlos slipped me HOA budgets. $20,000 pond upkeep over years. Charging residents for my property. Fraud 101. Sarah prepped suits. I gathered rope for Brenda's noose. But she doubled down, desperate to cling to her throne. False 911s. Shots fired. Drowning. Heart attack. Cops traced her voice, felonies stacking. Then the bribery ambush. She sauntered up as I mowed. Alex, let's adult this. $30,000 cash, plus exclusive access for you. If you drop complaints and share the pond. Phone recording. Or, legal fights get messy for solo guys like you. Extortion on tape. Irony. Her deal sealed her fate. Her crowning idiocy. Fake contamination report. Hazmat team arrived. Toxic runoff. Condemn imminent. Tests. Pristine water. Forged lab docs. Federal offense. Boycott flyers. Avoid this hazard. Businesses laughed. Rally to me. Her viral meltdown video. 25-minute conspiracy rant. He's signaling criminals via phishing. We may need to act. Comments. Get help. Threats implied violence. Board demanded resignation. Management bailed. Victory smelled like vindication, but I craved public spectacle. The climax hit at the packed town hall, air thick with anticipation. Brenda requested time to expose threats. I countered. She ranted from the podium. This man endangers us all. Illegal ops. Conspiracies. Audience snickered. Someone yelled, Lady, chill. My turn. Folder open. Brenda, explain spending $20,000 on my private pond? Slides, insurance claims, tax dodges. Gasps. Played bribery tape. Her voice boomed threats. Crowd roared. Fraud. Phone consent law shut her down. Final slide. Cam footage of her vandalizing my dock with kids at midnight. She shrieked, Conspiracy. Stop him. Sheriff entered. Brenda Hargrove, arrested for fraud, false reports, vandalism. Handcuffs clicked amid flashes. Applause thundered as she was hauled out. Pearls askew. Facade shattered. The fallout was poetry. Brenda pled guilty. Probation, $60,000 restitution to duped residents. Community service scrubbing public parks. Fitting for a standards zealot. HOA redrew boundaries, apologized publicly. My pond became a healing hub. Annual Oak Ridge Pond Fest. Ecology classes for kids, turning conflict to community. My business boomed. I consulted on HOA reforms statewide. Neighborhoods breathed free, values rose without tyrants. 1 year on, dawn coffee by the pond, kids' laughter echoing, peace restored. But tell me, in a world of absurd rules, is the real criminal the rule breaker or the power-drunk enforcer who twists them? True or false, drop your take below, because sometimes the line blurs, and that's where the real drama lies.